US Headquarters conducted a fresh fruit and vegetables distribution to low-income families in Southern California. Elderly at the Hualien Tzu Chi Senior Daycare gave participants first-hand experiences on dementia and Alzheimer's disorders. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. To serve low-income families in Southern California, Tzu Chi US Headquarters DaAi Mobile Food Pantry delivered fresh fruit and vegetables to predominantly the Hispanic communities.
Tzu Chi US Headquarters DaAi Mobile Food Pantry has come to Villa Corta Elementary School for the fourth time. Low-income families have come with joy and lined up orderly.
More vegetables, cereal, the juice, the yogurt, everything's good. My son likes broccoli a lot, and rice, he loves rice. So I'm really happy for it.
Maria, who does not have a job, faces financial difficulties. The food delivered by the volunteers can sustain her family for half a month.
Thank you for bringing us supplies. This food will help lessen my burdens.
Among the food recipients are 3 Chinese families. They remarked that seeing people of the same ethnicity makes them feel at ease.
I've been here for more than 10 years, and this is my first time receiving aid supplies. I've received a large box of food, and I'm really happy. I've never received this much food. Thank you very much.
Meanwhile, Tzu Chi also hosts monthly food distributions at Wilmington Community Clinic Center. Most of the residents are Hispanic and have low incomes. The volunteers' care means a lot for this community.
A really good program. It's helped a lot the economy of the families, which is very helpful. Yeah, we are very thankful for that.
They often eat junk food, which is very fattening. After we started providing them with fresh fruits and vegetables, they are very happy. To be honest, sometimes I cannot buy these fruits and vegetables outside.
So thank you.
Tzu Chi's longtime aid and scholarship recipients from Myanmar attended this year's English retreat. They fled from the civil war and refugee camps to come to the U.S. Thanks to Tzu Chi's long-term support, they are now all capable of giving back to society.
How I like this?
1, 2, Tzu Chi. My parents fled from civil war in Burma, so I was born in the forest. So I grew up in the refugee camps.
I met all 4 of them in tutoring class. For more than 8 years, we've been working together and getting to know each other, building a family. They were helping with translation and identifying the families, and so we were able to work together in serving the community.
Tzu Chi changed my life to a better person, because without Tzu Chi, I might not be here and my life will go completely the other way, like bad way.
It was unexpected. We were talking about role models, and they thought that I was the role model.
He is not only our mentor, he is everything to us. I can call him like our second father, so I am not the only one who feels that way, all my friends too.
Before I was a receiver, but now I'm a big giver. Giving is not losing. We can go to the community with the Tzu Chi uniform, also known as bulletproof vest. Thank you.
My goal for the future is to become certified volunteer, so I can serve like the rest of my life.
They changed my life entirely, because walking the Tzu Chi path started with this program. They transformed my life.
Cute. Yeah, cute.
Tzu Chi volunteers in Taoyuan brought Tzu Chi to care for the residents of the Bader Institute. Through their interactions with the residents, Tzu Chi experienced firsthand the happiness of helping those who are in need.
Upon seeing the familiar figures, children of the Bader Institute were very excited. As they all expected somebody to accompany them, this time the volunteers organized different fun games to interact with them.
Seeing their harmonious interactions, which included throwing balls to each other, I also felt the joyful atmosphere.
Taoyuan Tzu Chi volunteers also brought Tzu Chi to care for the residents of the Bader Institute.
In the beginning, I didn't feel happy at all, but after playing with them, I felt very happy.
Being able to interact and communicate with the residents, we have learned that spirit of serving others.
After learning by giving, the young people have also learned to be considerate and caring.
Many businesses in Bangladesh use chemical substances containing heavy metals and softness to dye and polish white fabrics. However, heavy metals and chemical substances, which are not absorbed by fabrics, will become byproducts in sludge. This cannot be discharged directly.
From our camera, you can see that locals use the water from this river for daily use, not only washing their clothes here, but also bathing. Here you can see that though the river is wide and vast, the water is opaque and quite dark as we take a sample for testing later. After the water is brought back to Taiwan for testing, we found that the zinc content of heavy metal was 12 times safe standards.
Because the heavy metal dissolves in water, if the body has a wound or it makes contact with the skin, it can easily enter the human body.
How can this river have heavy metals that harm the human body? The answer lies upstream in these textile dyeing and finishing plants.
Bangladesh has about 4,000 textile garment factories. This is very large-scale production, and they do not have as much awareness of the environment like us in Taiwan or other developed countries.
The Bangladesh government is very corrupted, and some companies use money to bribe government officials. They give them money every year.
Visiting a Bangladesh textile factory, we see their wastewater treatment.
这个地方呢，就是通常我们污水处理厂的收集池、调节池。
After dyeing, wastewater from various colors flow into the collection tank. Before treatment, the water is black and totally opaque.
All dyes and additives are collected together here, and according to depth color, we would add chemicals for decolorization and secondly add something to help coagulation to separate it into sediment.
Dyeing and rinsing wastewater must undergo 4 processes of decolorization, precipitation, biodegradation, and neutralization before they are qualified as treated. Mr. Wong's right hand holds wastewater before treatment, and his left hand holds treated water. The color difference is remarkable, as well as their chemical composition. Only this qualified wastewater can be discharged directly. When we do some field testing, we find the current pH value is between 6 and 7, meaning it has been rendered neutral. Alkali textile wastewater is neutralized, but the use of bacteria to break down waste can lead to greater chemical oxygen demand, leading to more serious water pollution.
Treated wastewater COD detection is red, which is 30, and untreated wastewater is more than 30, which is almost green.
International brands and Taiwanese companies in Bangladesh take environmental protection seriously, devoting some 5 to 10% of production costs to properly dispose of waste.
We mostly work with major brands, and they will come and take our processed sewage, and only after tasting and passing safety standards will they give us orders. If we don't pass it, they will cancel their orders.
However, the majority of the local dyeing and finishing companies are more speculative, leading to many cases of dumping and pollution throughout Bangladesh. In fact, it is difficult for the global textile industry to escape the problems of wastewater treatment. This includes Taiwan. Discarded unwanted dye eventually flows into this biodegrading pool, with the microbes inside decomposing it for a few days. Then it goes to this biological sedimentation tank. In the end, it undertakes precipitation and becomes what is called textile sludge.
This sludge is in fact industrial waste, and we need a legally certified company to dispose of it. Where do they put it? We really don't know.
Textile sludge is classified as harmful industrial waste and must be disposed of and buried. Wastewater from dyeing and finishing is a difficult issue for the industry to manage.
Previous environmental regulations were not so strict so we could manage. But now that the regulations have tightened, the industry have no way to meet them, and there is a lot of illegal discharges.
In recent years, the domestic government has vigorously investigated, aided by notification from the public. While the number of Taiwan's textile pollution cases have reduced, they have not been eradicated. 10 dyeing and finishing plants, each with their own sewage treatment system, plus wastewater from Hualien Industrial Zone, and another 350 traditional factories all flow into the central sewage plant. We are at the Hualien Industrial Zone in Taoyuan. You can see this wastewater produces a lot of foam, and near the discharge pipe the water is dark brown. Although the industry claims this wastewater has been treated in line with emission standards, we suspect they still may contain some chemical residue.
Everyone believes that the color of this river is abnormal. It is hard for us to accept this condition. Now the COD value is around 35 ppm. In our estimation, this section of the river is a little higher, as there's no natural life here.
Why does treated wastewater still encounter a problem? Because treating this wastewater is time-consuming and labor-intensive, which together with high costs, leading some companies to take their chances.
Businessmen face the dilemma of processing a ton of textile wastewater for $150 or simply discharging it for a few cents. I would choose simply dumping it, and the fine is actually quite cheap as well.
While the textile industry is tempted to discharge waste instead of properly handling it because of cost, the cost of apparel products may not be paid by consumers, but by the environment. We must all find a better way to protect the earth and change our lifestyles.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital Department of Long-Term Care Center conducted a training course on dementia and Alzheimer patients. Participants had one-on-one interactions with the elderly affected by these conditions at the daycare center. They also celebrated the 20-year anniversary of the center. At first glance, the silkworms look very realistic. They're actually made out of toilet paper and chopsticks. For these elderly, silkworms are a part of their childhood memories.
It's important to help them capture some of those past memories. Though many elders have dementia, they still have many other capabilities that we can focus on. Our goal is to let them express themselves to their fullest potentials.
Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital Department of Long-Term Care Center conducted a training course on dementia and Alzheimer's patients. Participants were invited to the daycare for seniors to have one-on-one interactions with the elderly affected by these conditions.
These experiences are so precious. It's just doing some activities together, but we all share the joy together as well. Sometimes we don't fully understand what is going on, but through these interactions, we're better able to interact with the elderly in the communities. I think this experience is very valuable.
The daycare for seniors has been established for 20 years now. It's with great hope that through training courses, participants will be able to share their experiences and learn skills within the community. This is the only way to enhance the quality of care for all. Tzu Chi volunteers went to the Yichang community in Hualien every week to care for the elderly. This time, they invited a balloon art instructor and students from the local junior high school to help seniors exercise their bodies and minds through various activities.
The elderly people of the Yichang community in Hualien gathered with Tzu Chi volunteers every week. This time, an instructor of balloon art and students of the Yichang Junior High School also came to make a variety of twisted balloons with the elders.
I always hope that I can come out to interact with the people in the community. We seized this precious opportunity to bring our students here.
After guiding the seniors to twist a balloon poodle, the instructor asked them to draw facial features on it. Now each balloon poodle has different expressions and colors.
Whether it is for adults or children, balloons can always create a cheerful atmosphere in any activities or festivals. Not only children like balloons, but elderly people also like them.
By taking part in a series of activities, the seniors can exercise their bodies and brains as well as keep their minds sharp.
Eating a watermelon on a hot summer day is refreshing, but watermelon isn't for everyone. Individuals with colder body temperaments and/or the elderly, the fruit may cause diarrhea. Many traditional Chinese medicine practitioners suggest that the best time to eat watermelon is at noon, where it has the least amount of impact on the body. The hotter the weather, the more people buy watermelons. Even how to pick out a good one, there are much know-how.
It's this specific texture. You take a bite and you feel, wow, very satisfied. It's very cooling.
The watermelon is sweet and succulent. It's a very popular summer fruit. However, watermelon is a cold and cruel fruit. In Chinese medicine, it's called the natural cooling agent. It has the effects of clearing away heat and relieving thirst.
Individuals whose bodies are more afraid of the cold and prone to weaker immune systems. These are the people that usually are easily fatigued and will have bouts of diarrhea when eating cold foods. Many elderly people are in this type of category where it's easy for their stomachs to be upset once they consume colder foods. People who have body temperaments like this are not recommended to eat watermelons.
When an individual has a cold or flu, afraid of the cold, shiver in windy conditions, coughing, running nose, and regular menstruation cramping pains, it's absolutely not recommended to consume this fruit. In addition, watermelon is a high glycemic index fruit, so people with high blood sugar should eat it in moderation.
People with diabetes have two things to watch out for when choosing to eat watermelon. The first one is to not eat excessively. We suggest a normal portion would be about the same size as a bowl of rice, about 80% full. The second one is to choose multiple fruits to consume. For example, eat 2 kinds of fruits with only one of them being watermelon.
Patients who have diabetes, heart disease, chronic kidney disease, liver disease with accumulation of fluids should also eat as little watermelon as possible. Nutritionists stated that about 90% of the weight of a watermelon consists of water containing a small amount of carbohydrate, sugars, dietary fiber, vitamin A and C, and potassium.
Some of the potassium ions are related to our cardiovascular protection. The higher intake of potassium ions will also help with urination. These are some of the most common public knowledge. In fact, many other micronutrients are quite similar in their composition in fruits as well.
The cooling and thirst-quenching watermelon, what is the healthiest way to eat it during summer?
It's recommended to eat it during noontime because that's when the sun is the most aligned and the human body is the most active. If you eat some cold foods at this time, it has a relatively small impact on the body as a whole.
Avoid eating watermelon at night when the body's physical activity drops. The fructose in watermelon is easily converted into fat. Plus, the body temperature is relatively low at this hour, which can easily upset the stomach. This could easily turn into a sleepless night. In Kaohsiung, Taiwan, a 6-year-old child suffered from hair loss after participating in outdoor activities. The child's scalp was damaged due to the overexposure of sunlight. Since children have thinner scalps, they're more vulnerable when they are absolutely unprotected when there's too much sun exposure.
The parents might take the children to play with sand or do sketching under the sun for several hours. However, this might be harmful to the scalp.
你有听过头皮会晒伤吗？
是没有听过哎。
擦一些防晒霜。哦，防晒霜是擦在皮肤上面脸。
对对。
头皮会吗？
不会，没擦过。
Most people neglect to protect their scalp against the sunlight. In Kaohsiung, a 60-year-old child was exposed to the sun for a long time. Then he lost much of his hair. Checkups have revealed that his scalp has been damaged. Children's scalp cells are more easily damaged than adults.
Children have thinner hair because their hair has not fully developed. Therefore, there's less protection for the scalp. Also, the children's scalp is thin, and therefore, exposure to sun could damage the hair follicles.
There are many causes for hair loss. Overexposure to sun leads to redness of the scalp. Spot baldness leads to hair loss in one concentrated place.
确实会引起头皮的一些状况，譬如说出油量上升。
It could lead to secretion of lipid and cause folliculitis or seborrheic dermatitis.
People with little hair should be even more aware of protection against sunlight. The doctor suggests that when doing outdoor activities, remember to wear a hat to avoid overexposure to sunlight.
In a household in Hsinchu, Taiwan, the father has nasopharyngeal cancer and the mother suffers from mental illnesses, making them unable to provide proper care for their two children. The sheet metal house they live in is also very filthy. After the last home visit, Tzu Chi volunteers have returned to clean their house so the whole family can have a cleaner environment.
In the picture, the child is lying and playing on the floor in the living room without any chair. Tzu Chi volunteers' heart went out for them upon seeing the situation.
The father is in poor health and the mother has clinical depression. We really feel bad for their two children having to sleep on the floor.
The volunteers visited them on the Dragon Boat Festival and had decided to return to clean for them. The day of the cleaning fell on a weekday, but more than 10 volunteers took the day off to help. Some even came right from the hospital.
The doctor suggested me to rest, but I insisted to come over. Coming to help will at least make me feel better mentally than staying at home.
The volunteers cleaned the kitchen and living room thoroughly, and they took preventive measures to protect the children from potential dangers.
I'm afraid the children will fall and get hurt. Being a nanny myself, I found that this environment can be dangerous to the children. We must protect them because they're the future hope for this family.
After cleaning the environment, the volunteer also gave the children a bath. With a couch and floor mat from the recycling station, they've made this house a much cozier and comfortable home.
Twice a year, Australia's Tzu Chi chapter conducts a parent-child event, especially aiming toward children with autism. The continuous care of local volunteers has helped both the parent and children make great strides in their daily interactions. We will leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us and see you next time.